I'd like to tell you about a legal case that I worked on involving a man named Steve Titus. Titus was a restaurant manager. He was 31 years old, he lived in Seattle, Washington, and he was about to be engaged to Gretchen. About to be married, she was the love of his life. And one night, the couple went out for a romantic restaurant meal. They were on their way home and they were pulled over by a police officer. You see, Titus's car sort of resembled a car that was driven earlier in the evening by a man who raped a female hitchhiker. And Titus kind of resembled that rapist. So, the police took a picture of Titus, they put it in a photo lineup, and they showed it to the victim. And she pointed to Titus's photo and she said, "That's the closest." The police and the prosecution proceeded with the trial. And when Steve Titus was put on trial for rape, the rape victim got on the stand and she said, "I am absolutely positive that that's the man." And Titus was convicted. He proclaimed his innocence. His family screamed at the jury. His fiancée collapsed on the floor, sobbing. And Titus got taken away to jail. So what would you do at this point? What would you do? Well, Titus lost all complete faith in the legal system, and yet he got an idea. He called up the local newspaper, and he got the interest of an investigative journalist, a journalist that actually found the real rapist, a man who ultimately confessed to this rape. A man who was thought to have committed 50 rapes in that area. And when this information was given to the judge set Titus free. And really, that's where the case should have ended. It should have been over. Titus should have thought of this as a horrible year, a year of accusation and trial, but over. It didn't end that way. Titus was so bitter. He had lost his job, he couldn't get it back, and he had lost his fiancée. She couldn't put up with his persistent anger. He had lost his entire savings, and he decided to file a lawsuit against the police and those who he felt were responsible for his suffering. And that's really when I started working on this case, trying to figure out, how did that victim go from "that one is the closest" to "I am absolutely positive that that is the man"?